Hello and welcome to Is It Really Worth It podcast. We'd like to begin by saying a special thank you to our sponsors, S&D Paving, for all of your traffic management, civil engineering and construction work. We'd like to say a massive thank you to Crystal Motors Northampton for all of your vehicle needs. Thank you very much. Today we have an inspiring, motivating, absolute legend here in Liverpool, Michelle Odwyer. Welcome, Michelle.
Oh, nice to be there.
Great.
Hey, when you say those things, I'm like, oh, I don't know.
You are. But we're going to start at the beginning and we're going to get to the legendary status. Yeah? What still hasn't finished yet?
Yeah, still stuff to do.
Okay, so titles at the minute. Ex-Mayoress of Liverpool.
Yeah, got into that. My mum and my father, my stepfather, both politicians, old school. We're always out fighting the fight when I was a kid, and I'll be honest, I was mortified because I was in the echo. It's like, like picketing or doing something. And I'm not political at all, but I was going through a difficult time, 2014, 15, 16, suffering a little bit with my mental health, lost a lot of confidence, happy to lose all. And my mum says, oh, you know what, Shell, I'm going to be Lord Mayor. So my mum's Lord Mayor. She says, will you be the mayoress? And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to do that.
Your mum?
Mum was Lord Mayor.
Yeah.
So, I said, no, I don't, because my dad was the consort, so the consulate supported. So in Liverpool, we have it's my right worshipfulness, Lord Mayor. That's the title of the day, all Lord Mayors. And I was just going as mayoress, and she says, you won't have to do anything, just come along, complete lies. She just got me, did that. As Karen's do, just feed you full of rubbish. And she got me to just come out and start supporting her as the mayoress, and it just got my confidence back. I was back at, the first thing I had to give a speech, and I hated being in front of people at that point. When you get that point in your life where you just want to be in the corner and hide. So I owe him on for that, bless her.
But that's just a title. But let's get to the beginning. So where did it all begin? Where were you born?
Born in Dublin. Not many people know that.
Yeah, Dublin.
I'm not sure. My mum said it was near the cowshed or something like that. I'm sure I can finish in Dublin, though nobody's supposing.
But you know the Temple Bar.
Yeah, there. But I was born there, came over to Derby when I was about 2. And then I moved to Liverpool when I was about 11. My mum met my stepdad, Roy, at Labour Party conference, and the eyes met over a debating tape or whatever they do. And that was that, and we moved to Liverpool.
Brilliant. So how old were you when you got here?
11.
You were 11?
Yeah. It was a bit of a culture shock because we were in Derby. It was a city, but then also quite a lot of countryside. So I did miss that when I came here. I missed that freedom's bell to go out walking for miles and stuff. When we were a kid, we never grew up in the streets. We were usually around the corner and we were on fields. So I missed that quite a lot. And it was to live in a city, it was a massive culture shock for me.
Yeah. So your education was kind of like disrupted.
I was not, I was saying before, it's quite ironic that I'm a teacher now because because we had to move around a lot when we were kids, to go back, when we lived in Derby, we actually had to go into Highgate because we must have the domestic violence. So we actually had to up sticks and leave my school. So one day I was in my school, the next day I never went home again. I never had my clothes, I've never had the present, and the toys already can be, overnight it was gone. So that sticks with you, and then you sort of survive, and then they go, I was 5 or 6, 7, and we were in survival mode now. But my mum, we just kept fighting. She had a full-time job, and then she did a degree at night school to change our circumstances. We slept on mattresses on the floor, and then eventually she got a house. She worked so hard. So my school life was not very good because, I suppose at the age of 7, I was bringing up my brothers. My mum was working full-time, so my priority was making sure my brothers were up, ready for school. I felt like I, by choice, put my education on a back burner.
Yeah.
And so when I came to Liverpool, I just have given up on education at that point in my head. Back then, schools weren't very good, and I was told I was pretty and I'd marry well, and that was by one of the head teachers. I was pretty and I'd marry well. how wrong they will. And I was, so what, I've made the words.
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that, mate. So, education.
Just rubbish. I mean, when I left sixth form as it was back, not sixth form, I think it was fifth year or whatever, and the head teacher said to me, what do you want to do? And I was really good at art. And I said, I want to go and study art. She said, oh, you'll get a job at McDonald's. Not that there's anything's wrong with McDonald's, but that she says, because I don't think we're good enough to do it. And again, I'm very stubborn. So you tell me not to, you'll do it. I must succeed. So yeah, then I went on to train as in art. But I had educational barriers because I was dyslexic as well.
Did you know that at the time?
No. I just was told I wasn't very clever. Like back in the day when I went to school, you were in the, you call it the dunce room or something like that. So even when I was in study, I'm not going to name the school because hopefully they've changed a lot since then. But, you were put in a room given a colouring book because they didn't want to waste the time to teach you
to write.
Yeah, I had one teacher called Mrs. Gray in Leicester, and she said, don't let anybody tell you what you're doing. She said to me, you read a good book and a bad book. So then I started reading things like Charles Dickens, D.H. Lawrence and stuff, and I self-taught because the school wasn't.
Wow. It was difficult. And yeah, I can remember some difficult days at school and the attitudes of some of the teachers.
You don't fit in that box.
Yeah. But the dyslexia, autism, Asperger's, it wasn't there.
You were just a naughty kid.
You were a naughty kid who needed an ID. That's,
yeah.
And
I think I played up because many people get this. I wasn't the best student. You should bunk off and everything because I was embarrassed by it. I sort of hid it for so long. Yeah. Played up, and it wasn't until I actually went to North Wales. I went to college part time. I love food, love eating. Always had a passion for food. My grandma didn't share. Went to college, and they were Deeside College, so supportive. They gave me a laptop, and that changed my life because I could type and I could do things that I couldn't do before because physically, to sit and write an essay would be really difficult for me. And they were the ones that got me through on the qualifications.
So you learnt to type yourself?
Yeah. Well, one thing I learnt from school was typing. But because when you're dyslexic, it's hard to to put words into written language. It's just so difficult. But to type it is so much easier. And they're the ones that helped me with the dyslexia. They said, you're dyslexic. You'd have a film to put on my books so I could read. And he took the time to educate me.
How old were you when you were diagnosed dyslexia?
I was in the 20s at that point.
So the school was long gone?
School was long gone. Wasn't really doing much. Sort of in relationships, different things. Just drifting through life. You exist and not partake it. And I think I didn't have much self-esteem at that point.
Yeah.
And you just sort of go from one disaster to the next.
Right, okay. So, diagnosed at 25. What steps, Right.
I bet you weren't expecting this.
No. I've so been expecting so much meat on this bone. So, education, you left with nothing.
Yeah. Went to Deeside College, got qualified as a chef. I actually did an apprenticeship in America. And they were the first people to believe in me. They were the first people. I remember I didn't want to do, because I was so used to failure, I didn't want to do exams. And they literally marched me down, I'm like 20 odd years old, and marched me into, you can do this. And it was only my food party, but I passed, they used to give you qualifications then and there, and I passed it. And I remember getting up and running around the room because the first thing I ever passed. And from that moment on, I realised that education was the key, and the fact that I excelled as a chef and excelled at that, it was something that nobody else had. I had a passion for it, I love eating. And I won the apprenticeship to go to America, so I went to Boca. Trained there for some time, and then came home.
So your aspirations, when you were leaving school, what were did you have any aspirations?
I loved art. It wasn't because I was good at it. No.
So you were you've left school and you were kind of like floating?
Yeah, and it was like, only as you get older and you reflect and look back. And I think because of the disrupted childhood, I think I'm sort of seeing things and living a different way. You sort of get used to that sort of fight or flight mode. So you don't keep roots, you don't keep possessions, relationships come and go. It's all these things. So in the back of your mind, you've inherited this as a kid. And so you're just on the back, you're always on the back going ready to like go somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's only now that I'm the folder, only now that as a job that I do, that, and I was angry. I was a very angry person at that point.
Well, I think I was when I left school because of how I was treated in school. It breeds a kind of contempt.
What?
I'm going to put this right. The contempt is not for the teacher, it's for the system.
Yeah, it was life.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just wasn't, I was self-harming, drinking, you know, and just disaster.
Self-destruction.
Yeah, and I was waiting to die probably. When I look back now, I think I was ticking time on because I felt like life had given me just so much rubbish. And by the age of my 20s, I felt physically, mentally exhausted. It's the first time I talked about it.
So, you've gone to America, you're doing your chef's degree?
Yeah, we'll do level 3. SMQ it was at the time, yeah. It's still the same. But yeah, came back and got out of a terrible relationship and came back to Liverpool. Did some different jobs, and then I worked in an education establishment, early proxy, and started doing that. And then they said, would you mind starting teaching? It was a $5 a day thing at the time. I thought,
we do it for, yeah.
Everything I've done in my life I've fallen into. It's always been well. I've just been at the right place at that time. So I started teaching, wasn't qualified to teach, but started doing this $5 a day road show and everything. And then loved it for a few years, got my confidence up, and then I opened a bistro on a Wirral, and then started that for a few years.
So you never intended to get into the catering business?
No, I was just good at it.
So where did the cooking begin at home?
Well, the grandma. So when we were young, and we were in Derby, my grandma was amazing. My white grandma, so I've got my Jamaican grandma, who I didn't know of at the time, and my white grandma, and she was always cooking. So growing up, it was my safe case. Being in her house, she had a massive arbor cooker, and the food she used to make was just, I used to have a high school, and I've actually got her Kenwood mixer now, it's older than me. And, you know, it's just one of those treasure gifts.
Yeah.
So she used to make these amazing things. She was a chef herself, you know, old school. And I still got her cookery books to this day, you know, things that she wrote at and stuff like that. So I love food. I love feeding. And people used to come back around at any time of day and night. She'd make this most marvellous food. So I suppose that was my go-to place, the kitchen. Even now, feel stressed, I cook.
Yeah.
And feed.
Yeah. Feeding space.
Yeah.
So, you're from a military background as well?
So my dad, my Jamaican dad, was ex-Royal Marine Jacket. My granddad, he was in the Navy, and then my stepdad, Roy, he was in the Army as well. Yeah.
So your dad was a Green Jacket?
Yeah.
Where?
He did 3 tours of Northern Ireland. He came over. My grandma and granddad came over from Jamaica at Windrush. Didn't send him straight away. He came over when he was a teenager. I think he felt quite displaced. Unfortunately, I never met him. He died before I met him. So this is like my family and relatives and his best mate. He'd tell me. And my mum. And funny because you meet everybody who met him and you're always like, he was such a vibrant person. But when he came back from doing the tours, he was just, he said 1 minute he'd be laughing, the next minute he'd just glaze over. And obviously he must have had PTSD. I know the time when he was in Ireland, but he was walking with 2 of his friends, and they, you know, 2 of his comrades or army, and they were either side, and both of them people got shot next to him. And I think he just felt like, he never got over that. You didn't know who was friend or foe. And then also, you know, he did encounter some racism, but, you know, he loved the army. They were family.
What years was he in Ireland?
Oh, I can't remember. I'm talking about whenever, you know, we're doing Northern Ireland, so.
whatever year.
It would have been the 1970s, something like that.
So he would have been in the thick of the no blacks, no Irish, no dogs.
Yeah. And, but he did love the breeze jackets. And you know what? He said he gave him a family that he never had, because he'd come over from Jamaica, very displaced, and he virtually joined up straight away. My uncle said he liked suits because he did like to look a bit dapper. But they absolutely loved it. So again, it's, it did encounter some difficult times within the military, but he absolutely loved it at the same time. And unfortunately, he was fighting constantly there due to the PTSD. I think he would have been diagnosed.
When he came out?
When he got kicked out, the blue jackets in the end.
For fighting?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said he was never sane, went to work for Rolls-Royce, and then shortly after, he was killed in a car crash. So I never met him, unfortunately. But when I got the opportunity to work with the military, I just snapped up. Because I felt like if I couldn't help my dad, I can help there.
Yeah. You see, he got thrown out. You're saying he got thrown out fighting. But back then, there wouldn't have been a case for the symptoms of PTSD. There wouldn't have been any of...
If you look at this country, right, it's the only place in the whole of the UK to support veterans with trauma and addiction is Liverpool. That's the only place in the UK. Now, you think we would have places all over, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But, these people are putting their lives on the line. The mental health on the line. And what do we do? So, yeah, Tom Harrison House are the only place in the UK that do that.
And which you are patron of.
Well, no, I just love them. I started raising money. So my mum started raising money for them when she was born there. I met them. It's my first encounter with working with the armed forces. And I just felt like more needed to be done. And felt like if I do what I'm doing, I was helping my dad. And that's how it all started.
Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. So, your granddad as well.
Yeah. There's a story with Granddad. So he was on the Russian convoy. I'm just closing my eyes to remember. So he was part of the Russian convoy, and Granddad loved sailing. He loved being in the Navy. And
but it wasn't the Royal Navy, it was a merchant.
Yeah, the merchant Navy.
Well, that's a lot deeper than Royal.
Well, the story is, he told me this story because he didn't like tipple. And on everybody's birthday, on your birthday, you got to have the dram or the rum? Yeah. But so everybody gave you the rum, but it happened to be was it the King's birthday or something at the same time? So you got double. So we ended up drinking everybody's double. And they're things that he used to tell. And he said it changed his life because he got to see the whale, wasn't it? But he never got his medal because he passed away a few years before it was actually given to him.
But in the family, you've got the medal.
Yeah, the one's got it. I think it was the Sea Lord here in Liverpool. They gave it to my mum. Never met a Sea Lord.
It's cool, isn't it? My pat was a Sea Lord. Sounds like something out of an underwater field.
Yeah, my granny wasn't the Sea Lord, got the Sea Lord cane, and their family was just But yeah, he came up because there was a lot of the people that hadn't got a chance to get their medals, so came up and get them, and kind of happened to be one. But my mum got it because it was, it passed away.
How cool.
Yeah.
So, the military background, your education, we've talked about your aspirations at school. You see, I'm trying to get to where you're at.
I ran an events business, came back to Liverpool, opened up a speech training education centre. So they had a kitchen there for rent. So I started one of my education business from there. And Mark Ord, who is a unsung hero of this city, amazing guy, he says to me, I've got to teach training here, Shell. Do you want to do it? I said, oh, man. And he said, it's free. He said it's free. So I was like, yeah, all right then, because it was free. Never dreamed I'd do anything with it. Got qualified with my petals and what have you else. Probably called something else now. Never did anything with it. I was just glad I had it. I felt like that was an achievement in itself. And then years later, I started volunteering. When I was going through a bad time, 2014, started volunteering in the local food bank and started cooking for Christmas Day. at places or anywhere that would have me to work Christmas Day. And Mark said to me, look, Shell, we really want to work with some people that you're working with, but people won't go into adult education, could be barriers, and I can get that because I think, well, look, I understand that because the barriers that I had suffered through education. So he says, look, we'll pay you. And I thought, we'll pay you to teach. You talk about food and teach cookery. And I'm like, so that's how it started. Started working all over Merseyside. Blessing. Mark was just, you know, he just let me, he said, you write your course, you write the programme, go with it. And it was just a success from day one, but it just got bigger. And the more people I worked with, the more people want to pull whether with ex-offenders, drug and alcohol rehab. I used to work with domestic violence victims. I've worked with the perpetrators of domestic violence, military veterans, people on low incomes, people with money, people without money, people from different cultures. You get everybody coming together.
Yeah.
And
Food.
it is amazing. But the more you do, the more it needs doing. And I was, you know, with adult education, you've got a lot of paperwork, you know, and at the time, a lot of my students who were just getting their confidence back didn't want to fill in reams of paperwork. And I said to Mark, you know, it's really difficult. We need to bring it down. And Mark says, you know what you need to do? You need to set up a CIC, which is a community interest company. Didn't know anything about that again. So I just thought, right, I'm going to do it. So I set it up, and it just, again, grew even more. I work with a lot of addiction, people in addiction. I work with veterans.
I'm going to rewind a bit. You mentioned earlier you were drinking a bit and drug use. So a lot of alcohol abuse.
It wasn't really, no, but it wasn't massive amounts of alcohol or anything like that. But I knew
It was just an escape.
it was an escape. So although I didn't, because people say to me, because I don't drink now, but loads of people say, well, you know, and again, food would be an addiction for me. Anything could, you know, anything, you know, it's just how you process it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not like I was drinking every night or anything like that, but I knew very early on I had to direct myself into, the gym was my go-to.
Perfect.
And I also am a workaholic. So I think I would have been an addict, bar the fact that I loved work. I work myself to exhaustion because that's my nature. Anything I do is going to be to the next level.
But you're from a very driven, like work-driven family. You know, your mum went out of her way to get whatever she could for you. Your dad, your granddad.
Yeah, we're all are.
So your DNA is get at it and get working.
Yeah.
But there must have been some crossroads in your life, Michelle, where you could have just said.
I was in those.
So when you get to them crossroads,
Yeah.
what makes you not go down the wrong turn?
I think before I did this, I don't know what I did. I think it was just existing, not doing anything. I've actually got religion years ago, so that's a whole different story, you know. And that was probably the one thing that changed my life.
Christianity.
Yeah. I was in Thailand, or the other places as you do, backpacking, and just something's changed, something happened. It's not a long story, but something happened, and I just came back and thought, I met some Christians. And again, church for me when I was a kid was just torture because it's just horrible people. And that's what I grew up with, thinking, Christians,
They want more money.
yeah. And they didn't really like me because I was mixed race as well in church back there. And I had a white brother, and, you know, I didn't fit into the norms, but and they had, these Christian girls had, I called it with ready bread blow. Anybody, do you remember that, where they had the orange?
People looking for it on the way to school. I'd always look if I got to know yet.
They had something I was missing. And it's not like they're all preach. We ended up going to, Full Moon Festival. And I said, I didn't think Christians go to things like this. They went, no, we love to party. And I thought, I can do this. I love to party. And we parted ways, and I just thought, they've got something I had lost. Hope. That's what they've got. They had hope where I had none. And I came home, and I thought, I'm going to give a go this Christianity malarkey.
And how old are you now?
I'm 50 this year.
No.
How was it there? Oh, I can't remember. I'm talking, it It was probably about 15 years ago.
Right.
10, 15 years ago, something like that. I can't remember when I went to Thailand. But came home and the girls, met up with all the girls, and the girls are like, Chef, Chloe, have you met a fellow? And I was like, we're in the pub. And I said, sit down, girls. Yes, I have. And then I said, come and cut it. And then they spat the drinks out and all of this. And, but it gave me hope. And I remember I went to this thing in London. It was like a Christian thing. And there was a song about giving it all, giving it to God, giving all your worries. And I felt like during the song, I was giving all the pain and all the suffering and all the anger. You said about that earlier, all the anger that I didn't know was walking, like almost like, I can imagine it like hanging bag on my thing, and I was going. And then I remember crying, and then I walked out and I was a different person.
What's that church?
It was Hillsong at the time that I went to, but then I came back and I just dabbled. It just went, I'm a bit of a church gypsy, actually, to be fair. Because
Did you ever use the Seventh Gate?
No, I've not been to that. But I went to, I go to St Andrew's Community Network because they do loads of work in the community now. And I go to St Michael's in the Hamlet because he lets me take the dog. So, you know, what we're saying about the anger though, and that for me, and people will be surprised because that I'm religious, but my faith has got me through a lot. And and all I can say is when I look at the person I was before, it was a very, you want to know that nobody knew that I walked around angry or I felt disappointed in life, but it was there.
But people think that's the norm.
Yeah.
For people to be angry, and this is normal life. It's not normal life.
No. I'm a lot calmer now, and I think we have hope.
And you get peace.
Yeah, definitely. And you realise, and I felt like, you know, I think you're given a talent in that. And mine was Puckett. And also, I think I tried to fit into society's norms. So I remember somebody saying to me, be less you. Be less, as I'm like, up and talkative and spacious. So as I go, because I wasn't fitting into the norms of people's lives. Yes, I wanted to. And actually, since I've just thought, well, people like you, they don't like live, been more successful in my life than ever. Because actually, you know what, it's okay to see difference. It's okay to express yourself. You're not doing any harm. But life, people want you to fit in because they're insecure. That's right. But when you're younger, you don't know that. You try and fit it. You know, you're not black enough. You're not white enough. You're not educated enough. You're not this enough. Who cares? Just see you.
Yep. And it can take a lifetime to become them. And it's not right.
I mean, when I'm teaching and some people find out I'm dyslexic, they're really surprised. They go, I'm dyslexic. Oh, this is so nice. Don't let that be a barrier to stop you from achieving dreams.
We've got a autistic pal, and he's the greatest on earth at what he does. He is truly amazing. Willard Wiggum, do you know? Dr. Willard Wiggum. He's from Birmingham. He does the sculptures in the eye of a needle.
Oh, see, yeah, I did know it was there. The attention to detail, the YouTuber or something on it.
He uses his heartbeat as the jackhammer. He makes his own tools out of diamonds. But he's dragged around school and shown to other classes, this is what you don't want to end up at. What? He was actually paraded around his school. And like, oh, when I think of it now, we talk every day. He's my best pal. We talk every day. And when I think of some of the plights, not just him, but I was from Irish stock, so we were the back of the class all the time. We were the last in the queue. I was always told by my parents, come on here with a Englishman. You wouldn't come on here with an Irish kid or a black kid. Because my dad had to sleep in a shed for 4 months. You know, no blacks, no Irish. So he used to have to hide on someone's shed. And we were always told, if you come on with any English kids, you get beat. Yes. So there was always that, we're different from everyone else. You know, we must be different. But we were never different. It was just the society we were in then, what was educated.
I feel like now society is so embraced of individuality. Yeah. Really, everybody's entitled to their own beliefs, but for me, I'm not. I've been given labels my whole life. I refuse to have I'm just a human being. At the end of the day, I treat everybody to the same accord, no matter your sex, your colour, your midget, whatever. I treat everybody the same. And I think the world's a richer place for the diversity.
Of course it is. Yeah, and it should grow more. There's got to be more growth in the diversity. So, Tom Harrison House is very, very close to your heart. How, on your journey, so, hold on, let me match up Christianity. So 15 years ago, you found Christianity. Do you think since you found your faith, your life has gone better or worse?
100% because I take risks. Sunshine, risks as in, before I would never have become, so British students drive, 2012, the Olympics. I then would dream flight to be a chef at the Olympics. And I was told, go for it. So I applied. I got to work for the Olympic Committee. So put for, the Olympic Committee where you've got controller, you cook for clean, all of that. So I was part of that team. And every day someone gave me this little Christian book thing. I used to hold it in my pocket because I was bricking it. I just wish some of the best chefs. And it was little old me now, I felt like I was a fraud. Or, it was a chance of a lifetime. And actually, since that day, I never had to have a CV as a chef because you just walk into somewhere because they knew you got through the Olympics 2012. Fairly brutal. So I never would have done that. And so the old Shell wouldn't have taken those risks, as in I wasn't good enough. But actually, you know what? Now I just have a go. If I fail, I don't. More than nice. See.
But failure is success if we learn.
Yeah.
So,
Or sometimes you get sucked into the belief that failure is all we know.
Right.
And then you don't have a go because you fear the failure. But now I'll just think, right, okay. So what have I done?
So, 212 Olympics. I was there as well. I had a different job. I probably had the best job at the Olympics. Trust me. 212. I was our lead bodyguard.
Oh.
So it was the most emotional week of my life. Changing shoes. I was like, I can't believe it. I'm like, why me? How me?
That's what we were in the same spec though. I was there, but I remember I was stood next to a chef and they're all giving a resume. We're all standing there giving the resume of who they cooked for, and they're like, what about you? And I was like, home down. I'm like, what? I'm so secret. I'm not, it's not a pissing contest. I'm there, by the end of it, I had proof of worth, and I was running. You had the canapé section, and they were doing thousands of canapés every day. And by the end of it, I was running that section. So the guy who was doing it, must have had issues, put pressure with his mates. And then, by then, they got, there was about 10 of us on this thing just churning out, and they went, right, we need something to meet this sea. And then all these chefs who were like, the best chefs and all went, right, Michelle. And it's called into a meeting with Angela Hartlett, who's an amazing chef, and Matthew Hughes, who's also an amazing chef. And they called me in a meeting in the Olympics and said, all right, man, Matt chef. I thought I've looked around, so it was just, it was brilliant, amazing experience. And again, I was like yourself, Mickey, didn't get you.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So from 212, everything went up.
Yeah. I mean, I had a few dicks on the way. As I said, I suffered with mental health about 2015. Lost key confidence.
So you found your faith just before 212?
Yeah. And sometimes you think you're going to live your best life, but actually, I feel like God removes things from your life that are toxic. And you're like...
I love them words. I love that.
And I was having a conversation. He's like, come on now. He must look at me, not you again. But, he makes us all individuals, doesn't he?
And the relationship with him is as an individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't told by any church or anything what my faith should be or how I lead my faith or what I do. It's just an individual thing, and it's a journey.
This is my kind of... So many faiths out there. How many roads lead to London? All into the same place.
Well, I did some work, did some stuff during the pandemic with the mosque in Anfield. Can't say the name, how terrible the names are, I won't even try, but mosque in Anfield. Miss Farishta, or Farida, amazing lady. She runs the women's group at the mosque. They started collecting food for us. I was working through the pandemic and we were doing campus and we were delivering food. And so the mosque got involved, they found out doing it, so built up a really good relationship with the mosque. Then Women's Day is to go and speak last year at the mosque. And then Christmas, Miss Barrido and the group, we collected chocolates, wrapped them all up to give to guests in Zacob Christmas Day. And so again, yeah, plus that, what she said is, we may have different faiths, but, you know, we're all paid to a higher purpose.
Yeah.
And so therefore, you know, it's just one love, isn't it?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. People are so, oh no, that's different, because that's not, it's all the same.
Break it down, we're all just trying to be people and humans and try.
Just be good.
Yeah, just say good. That's it. It's nothing, you know, just be a good person, try and pay it forward. Yeah.
So, your cooking's going great. Your chefing's going great.
I try and learn half of things, don't I?
Right. Okay, so I want to get to...
You're working with the Tom Harrison Foundation.
So, yeah, it's a charity. So I was working with all the, Transforming Choices, which is a rehab centre as well. Veterans HQ, so through Veterans HQ, I was working with veterans and their families again, because, you know, it can be quite challenging when you've got your partner coming home, who has been home for good, and then you're like with the family. So it's difficult for them to, hang on a minute.
Yeah, coming out for wars, aren't
Yeah, and into a family, because sometimes there's a war though, and you can't get away from. And so we started doing like cookery classes with the families. We go out to farms, we collect vegetables and cook, absolutely everything. And just escalated. And I just, you know, we go and do things like with Tom Harrison Mouse, each year, we're not doing it this year for some reason, but the Marina Dowdley Shapiro, we go and help at Nursery Hall, and we go and rent some, or we go and build the food, we go and help the chefs with addiction, and that's all free of charge. We don't charge anything, because without that, so without 12 of us, me and the veterans, and Melody first kindly went there, and you know, some of them are ex-Marines and everything, and here's me on things in the chef, if any of you say anything, and I'm going to kill you. I literally played them alive. They are ready for it. And you know, these veterans that have gone to actively experienced absolutely atrocity, but I'm so protective over them because they've been through so much and they have such trust in, well, they have so much trust in me, because I'm not, I remember the first time I was teaching and they were trying to mind the kids, here's a like, come here, chef. So I don't have to mind all that one there. Just be yourselves. And so that's where it's gone. And so anytime I'm doing any voluntary work, they can monitor me.
I'm glad to touch down in the voluntary work. You don't have Christmases.
I do. I have the best Christmas.
You don't? Okay. You don't have the average person's Christmas, do you?
Yeah, no.
So how many people do you cook for on Christmas Day?
Over the years, I reckon it would be over 1,000 easy, probably more. With pandemic, we delivered dinners. So we cooked Christmas dinners. We get about 100 dinners on Christmas Day, which we delivered, as well as hampers.
And you cook?
Yeah. Well, I'm an event chef, so we're used to cooking in high numbers. So when I was a chef and I used to work in London and all of that sort of places, we'd cook for hundreds, thousands. So I'm used to cooking for big numbers and planning it. It's like a military operation.
And you get nothing for that? This is just off you?
Just because I had one Christmas where I didn't do it and I was bored to tears. And I think my family wanted to corrupt with me, but this is not for me. I've not got kids. I've got my dog. They love me like yeah. And I just thought, I can either sit around moaning about I'm alive in all of this, or I can do something positive. So that's when I volunteered 2016. I did a Christmas dinner. But what I noticed, it wasn't one I'd organised, is that I'm turning away volunteers. And I'm like, why turn away volunteers? Like, only got too many. But I said, you don't know why they're volunteering. Plus, I don't like the stigma, because they were putting things on social media like feeding the poor or there was things like,
And that is categorising.
and I hate that. So I got the opportunity to, we did the second Christmas, I went to go to rehab. So I went to put people in rehab on Christmas Day and I actually made them do it. So I facilitated there. But the feeling I got was amazing. And it's killed selfishness.
So you went in to cook in a rehab, so made them cook?
Yeah, because we did it together as like, there's a lot of us, the families. And Christmas is a difficult taboo. So imagine you're coming clean off whatever, and you face all these emotions and everything. It's quite a very intense time. Plus, for many people, regardless if you've got an addiction or you're coming off an addiction. So I went into rehab, and we decorated the room together. We peeled the spots together. We got the Christmas music on, and then on Christmas Day, a couple of my friends who were volunteers came along. Actually, Nassina Nichols, she's actually cancer. She was a cancer victim. And she came along and we had board games, and I just knew it was something different. I thought, this is what Christmas is about. It's not about money, not that. It's about the human. It's about who we are as people. And money comes and goes. But if I'm paying my bills, I've got a roof over my head. I live with a stinky dog. I have a nice life. So therefore, I'm working in the community day after day. I do have a lot of voluntary work. A lot of work in food banks, in pantries. I see a lot of people suffering. So then why would I shut down on Christmas and go, right, I'm all right, Jack. See you after the Christmas period. For me, that's not the time to shut the doors. It's the time to get out of bed and do something.
I see something what really resonated with me on your social media. If you have too much, I'd build your walls higher, I'd make your table longer.
Yeah.
Where did you get that from?
I just thinking through, but I think it was I'd just be like, and then when I'm doing Christmas Day, for instance, and I work in Castle, I don't advertise on social media, I put it out there, but because I work with different groups, I know who I'm sending the cat to. And if I see anybody puts anything in social media, I'm doing Christmas Day, I'm feeding the poor, I'm like, you're out. What's that? No. Yeah, everybody knows that, so you wouldn't do it. And I lost the train of thought now, what we're doing. Oh, yeah, so, and when they'll say to me, I'm on late, come to me Christmas Day. And it's just like a bigger family. So then I planned it, we did. Christmas, after the pandemic, I thought we need to bring people together. And I've been during the pandemic, it's so much mental health and social isolation is huge, wasn't it? And a lot of people had lost a lot. I think the mental health repercussions of the pandemic will be far-reaching. Is far-reaching now.
Yep.
More than it. And to see, and I thought, right, okay, I'm going to organise the best Christmas. I had no money, but I thought I'm going to do it. Didn't know I was going to do it, and I managed to do some fundraising. We run it at Bots on the Haxel, bless them. We hired a venue, but for 2 days they let you come in weeks before because it's such a big job. Because everybody who comes Christmas Day, that's a hamper. So
They go through.
Yeah, so we take over the whole venue. We decorate it.
And they come to you to eat?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I'll just give you, so on Christmas Day, we have the 2-course dinner. Christmas Eve, we're there with the veterans again, my veterans.
Yep.
Families, kids, volunteers come and help decorate the room, peel the veg, make the hampers. Christmas alone this year, there are 206 people, including volunteers. Wow. Christmas Day. So Christmas Eve, we set it all up, cooking, preparing all the food. We're hiring a crockery. The crockery mire alone on Christmas Day is over £1,000. Because I wanted people to come in and not look like a charity event. I wanted to come in and think, right, you're at a top-notch event here. This isn't charity. You're part of a big community. You're part of a family. We have military veterans. We have people from different walks of life. You have Ukrainians. We have about 45 Ukrainian refugees there Christmas Day who are absolutely gorgeous. We have families. We have a coach from Will coming over and they come Christmas Day. It's just, yeah. And I love the fact that people are making those connections with each other and getting to know each other. And everybody gets a present as well. So my friends, at the end of the day, I couldn't do this without support. So things like the friends, George and Claire, he does look a bit like Santa, bad Santa. But he just, at the end, but bless him, he's in the kitchen doing the Brussels sprouts as well. Claire says she can put up with me bossing her around. And, setting up all the tables, because Trez, my mum and dad can Christmas Day because they're waving on. I couldn't do what I'm doing without the support of everybody else. So it's not just me. It's like the funders, John Lewis has every money, the Big Help Project, Land Rover Jaguar, Monovision, Hansi, my local gym, the gym on Great Wing Street, Franny, who runs that. He did a massive collection for food and stuff for the hampers. They're also there at Christmas Day, helping as well. So it's not. I think people are becoming more, because I've done it for a few years now, and as it's going on, it's building up that momentum, and it's a true moving Christmas. It sounds a bit corny, but come along, see.
Yeah, me and Dave touched down earlier that they're saying
it should be more of a unit, everyone's kind of on their wings and worried about themselves. And you see what you've done is you've formed a unit. And they're kind of tight when it seems.
Yeah.
Because you've got all of the people around you, what you've helped through their journey. And now they're helping you.
Yeah.
It's like a...
If people say why you do what you're doing, and one was because I grew up doing it, because it was challenging, and I don't want kids to go do what I'm meant to do. And so by helping them, I help myself. It's a form of thank you in a way.
Yeah.
And also, when you see the faces on Christmas Day, and get quite emotional thinking about it, and the people that you meet, they're inspirational. There's people that have been through absolutely hell and back, but they're the first person to give.
Yeah.
And you can't, it affects you, so you feel like I've got to do more. What can I do next? We did the Eurovision last year. Last year I raised money, 250 people for a free community event. And I was told at the time, I had a couple of friends, and I said, I'm going to do a Eurovision event. But someone says to me, but no one's going to go to that. I said, they will, because not everybody wants to go to the city centre because of the crowds, the alcohol.
Oh, still, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I organised a Eurovision event, and we had 250 people at a free community event, no alcohol again, as I said, I put evening hat.
And no one paid a penny, so
But nobody paid a penny. I raised enough money. I got to speak at a stakeholders meeting. Somebody said to me, will you speak at the M&S Arena? There's people there. You can speak in front of a few people. I said, yeah, but I got there and I'm like 100. I'm on the stage. I still got a brief. Boy, lies again. I was on the stage with a boy for lawyer, like all the big business people, and there was an community worker, like sitting there. And by the other keep going, Warren Pence sounds best. Yours sounds the best. And I managed to raise some money. I managed to raise £10,000. I bought in a AV company and like a massive 60-foot screen, surround sound. It was everything you could have done. It was amazing. And people, again, were blown away because they didn't expect a community event to be like that. And I think it's because I'm an event organiser, I can put it off. And people will see my number and go, oh, what she wants. I don't know. Can I say it's not for me? It's not for me, but I don't believe in the word no. And you just sort of believe it and go for it, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. We spoke earlier about, your parents and the military background. There's a lot of verbal and media all over. There's a lot of media coverage. We may be going to war.
Yeah.
How do you think this generation of kids are going to last in the war?
I was at such a privilege to be asked to it was like 2 years of the Ukraine war the other week. So I've got to know the Ukraine kids quite well. I feel like they've adopted me a little bit because every time I see them, they really want to feed me. And it's just lovely. Just all speeding there. You know what? They're just supposed, I can't imagine what they've been through. I mean, the fact the kids have got PTSD. So I was actually speaking at an event last week with the frontline medics from the Ukraine.
But how do you think that this generation that are coming through now are going to be able to go to war? I'm talking about this snowflake generals coming through now. How are we going to go to war and feel confident that we have
That's correct. Well, the protocol you don't have to do for starters.
Well,
I feel like you don't know. It's only through adversity and trials do we see the courage of people. So, you know, it wasn't until I went through a shitty life, and this, that and the other, that forged me to do what I'm doing. It gave my life meaning. So through adversity, I'll take that adversity. So, you know what? You don't know. I'm sure that young girl who was 20 didn't have you know, she was probably in college living her best life. But then now she's had to sign up and drive an ambulance. So I thought, you know, we just don't know, do we? And see, we're faced with that adversity, but let's pray that you don't, because, you know what, I hope all the kids never have to experience that. But you know what, I wish there was more education in schools about, you know, you remember my granddad, my dad, you know, I mean, if you go to the National War Museum and you see the legacy of, you know, the Caribbean and what they gave into the wars and different things, you know, this is what we should be learning in school. And, you know, saying we're part of this legacy, you're part of this legacy. And you're right, you know, that's something we should be doing. We're not, you know, a lot of people are anti-war, but we've also got to teach, you know, what people went through. You know, I have such respect for the, you know, the people that served in the different wars. I mean, you know, I met, you know, when we had the plays come over a few years ago, and there was a Spitfire, I think, and it was the oldest little...
Oh, Captain Tom.
No, it was wasn't he somebody else, the old, and he had flown that Spitfire or something. And
Flew over that.
he flew over, yeah, and to see, I met him, and such dignity.
Yeah.
He put his life on the time, he put his, you know...
Different lady, man.
Yeah, and I feel myself, since I've got to know the veterans and work with the armed forces, it's changed my life for the better. And the love and the support and to see them blossom and do whatever in their lives and to play a small role in it, it's, you know, it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. So, let me ask you this. Do you think that mandatory, what did they used to call it when you used to have to go to the army?
Yeah. It wasn't enlisting, wasn't it? Yeah. What was it called? I can't remember. Somebody Google it.
No, I'm on the... Come, I've got it. It's...
What? Conscription. That of it.
Mansion.
Yeah.
Do you think we should revert back to that?
No. But what I do get really to do is have a lot more respect for our environment. And, you know, that the other day I was driving, somebody in front of me threw a pizza box out the window. I just feel like we really need to start teaching people about the environment and respecting the environment and the world that we're living. Yep. And, you know, whether it's like, you know, we go out litter picking as well, we do different things. But even if it's just getting out there and taking accountability for your community.
Your response.
Yeah, and it's not just one person. What did we say? It takes a community to raise a child or something. Actually, so true as well. So for me, conscription is not fair, but I would say we really need to start not looking at ourselves, but looking at the bigger picture and teaching people to respect our environment. I take kids in the summer holidays strawberry picking, so they can see the whole thing from like picking where we're growing, respecting the countryside, and then we make our own jam, and then they get, you know, the whole ethos from plants to food. It's all part of respecting our environment, and instead of just going throw away society, we rightly collected. I worked for Petronus Iniblet on the waterfront, and we did 2 days of litter picking, and we picked up 156 kilo in rubbish along the front. And a lot of them were these disposable stakes. And now it's causing so much problems now. So again, there's things that we can be doing.
But I think they get banned now.
But I hope so, because they're causing so much waste. So again, that's down to the environment, people not respecting the environment and the city that we're living in. And we're very blessed to live in a Mexican city.
We're very blessed to live at all.
Yeah. I mean, I put back no is 20 with the grenades. No.
That's your choices.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. She probably wasn't faced. She was probably just living her life. And they've lost it. I mean, there was a lady I met from the Ukraine. She had a flower shop. She was a florist. She had her own shop. She had to literally pack 2 bags of cats and move. There was another gentleman. He was a brewer. He owned his own company and showed me his pictures in the brewery in Ukraine. It was all glass and you could see everything underneath it. And it was just, he pride and joy, and he's just had to go. And again, can you imagine just fleeing with the clothes on your back? Or a family who won't leave because that's all they know. They don't want to leave their home because they've got nothing else. They're so poor, they've got nothing else, and they've never even gone to, to another city, and you're being asked to flee your heritage to bombing. It's right, he's young.
Why? Just greed. It's just greed. Why? Anyway, let's get back to us. So we're going to hit on a few. No, we're not. I'm going to ask you where you want to be in 5 years. What's your goals?
So we've been, just before the pandemic, you were talking about this before, so I was very happy to get some funding from Kiva to support. You're all set to expand because I want to do employability. I want to do more than I'm doing now and support more people than I'm doing now. And then I
suppose days are going to be very busy.
We said to Debbie, and have one more party. I mean, if you do, every day. You know what I mean? I definitely do that. And so we're trying to expand, but then pandemic came. And bless them, Kindred have still kept this money. And then I found a venue last year now. I need a venue. So if anybody's watching in the north of the city, because I feel like there's not much, I live in the north of the city. And I feel like I want to be in community. Although I'll continue to work, because I went all over Merseyside. Yeah. I run a mobile cutlery kitchen. And I still have me in the base of operations. I also work with adults with disabilities. So I work with an organisation called Options for Supported Living. So I've been teaching adults with disabilities for about 5 years now, I think. So I want a kitchen that's suitable for everybody. Inclusion. Yeah. So it's a big wish list. And I found a venue, then that's for him, and then I'm trying to talking to the council, and So in the next year, I want to expand. I need to expand. The veterans are chomping at the bit. They want to come and do some work. But just basically give people the chance, because I work with a lot of people. Might not get a job ready, but we just need that wraparound support and that chance. Someone to, if somebody hadn't believed in me, if somebody hadn't helped me, then I wouldn't be doing this now. And I feel like that's all I needed was someone to say, you can do it. And that's what I do. And I feel like I've got a lot of faith in me, and they're all excited, and they're all waiting for it to happen. I'm waiting for it to happen. So it's just trying to find a venue, then getting the money. I'm hoping Kindred still got some away. But I won't take money until you've got the place that then it's going to cost a lot of money to kit it out and all that sort of stuff to make that game come true.
The power of prayer.
Well, they keep thinking, come on, real. I keep thinking he's got something really good lined up for me, but...
You know he will have, because you're doing so many good things. So he'll have a beauty waiting for you soon.
I mean, I've looking up. I met somebody. He's, I didn't ask him to volunteer to Christian Today, but he volunteered. He doesn't work in the community. And I'm like, you're a bit of it. It's like a family Christmas, but like
thousands of people.
And
you've got relatives and all over the road coming.
It's just absolute carnage. And I call it organised chaos. And, he just takes it with the pictures, which just goes over his head. He's been absolutely... And
You need that people around you.
Yeah, but it's not suited. I mean, my life isn't suited for everybody because it's not normal life. I couldn't live a normal life because it drives me bonkers. But, I surround myself with good people and people that are willing to accept or to just try and make the world a better place. And I'm not... Yeah, and I've just dragged them along whether they like it or not. But maybe some other... Or we learn something different.
So we're going to go for warehouse, maybe?
Yeah, right, and that's something like that. So it needs a pretty big venue. because we've been running the school from there. I'm cookery teacher. So we're running the cookery school from there and doing lots of good stuff as well. And hopefully feeding the community and having more events. At that time, I would have more things, so I keep them coming and have a safe space with food and not be judged or anything like that. It can just come and be themselves.
So if there's any commercial property owners out there who are looking for a very large warehouse, very large.
I can promise them I'll make great chocolate brownies.
That's your wreck day.
That's money back.
But your era in giving back is like, if you go back to the 60s and 70s, people were very, very community-based.
Yeah.
And not to everybody, because there was a lot of communities what were excluded, yeah, back in them days, what we both know that. But it was people were more willing to come out and help people.
Yeah.
So the 80s and late 80s, early 90s, I think a big influx of drug abuse, and all of this, like the ecstasy waves and all of this came to Britain. It kind of made people selfish.
Yeah, I think, there was of accents, people were having good, nothing wrong, they're having good times and stuff. And we forgot to look at, I think we lost the community centres are being getting closed down, day centres being getting closed, all these hubs that are so vital as all our communities get closed down. So you put nowhere to go, funding's being cut. So social care's gone out with toilets. So all these, all the people that you see on the streets that would normally get support, that they're not being supported. Yeah. They are British forgotten. And he'd go, well, I remember somebody wrote on my LinkedIn, well, if people stop smoking and doing, well, get real. Yeah. The people I'm working with, they've got jobs that they can't make ends meet. And, that's why the food pantries are often such a vital resource to our cities, because not only is it affordable shopping, but a lot of them are a place for people to go and have a cup of tea, so catch up with the community. They're becoming community hubs on their own, which are amazing. But I feel like during the pandemic, what I loved is the fact that all these communities came together and everybody was helping each other. And I just think, right, we need to carry on with that now.
Yeah, but it's going to take a lot more people like you.
There's loads of people. Honestly, if you could see the people that I work with on a daily basis, it does transform you, and it does make you look at the world in a better place. I think I feel pretty depressed otherwise, but the people I meet inspire me to be what I do. They're just amazing. People with nothing to give so much.
On some era.
Yeah, because there's so many in the city. There is so many, honestly. Just a little story of one of my students, and again, never judge a book by its cover. And she came in, and I was teaching. It was all women's food, but very intense. A lot of different issues, domestic violence, all the different things. I walked out the day, I remember picking up the mate, no impact, but quite hard day, mentally very hard. And one of the students, she'd lost her children, social care. She was pregnant, and her partner had run her over while she was pregnant. She had to go into isolation to protect herself. And I was doing a charity run at the time, and she said to me, I'm going to do it. I'm going to help you, Shell. I'm going to rake money. And this is the one who's been through it. Her leg was trauma. And you know what? She raised that before. She went round her community. She raised money. She did the charity run, and she raised money. That's what I'm talking about. They're the people that leave that lasting legacy of you. People that have been from hell and back, lost everything, and had the capacity to go out and give more.
Yeah.
This is goosebumps.
Yeah, it's lovely, man. Okay, right. Michelle, we're going to finish on a few favourites.
Okay.
Your favourite film?
I straight my mind and God for the week.
It's the first time I've ever heard that one. Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, when I was growing up with my grandma, we were in the kitchen cooking. She loved going to the room and sit and watch it. And Starlet the horror at the time was like my heroine because she was like, no, she's kicking ass. Obviously.
Yeah, she was.
She was a girl mother, wasn't she? She was a woman that I thought, you know what? apart from she had a love for Ashley Wilkes, she was a bit of a cry on her, but she should have gone out with Rhett Butler. But I just thought, when she turned up at that party in a red dress and she basically did them the finger, I thought, go ahead there, girl. Very misogynistic. I love Scott O'Hara, and, she was absolutely amazing. I can't remember the actress now. She was married to Lana Libya, I think, at the time. I'm at all of the whole movies, so yeah, straight away there.
Dominant. Okay. Favourite sport?
I'm going to say boxing.
How'd you say that?
Yeah, you know what I do? I just love it. When I went to backpacking around Thailand, I went to see kickboxing, and I'm from Murray Seeks, and I absolutely loved it. It's just the energy, the excitement behind it, yeah.
The body up there.
More.
Okay. I'm going to save the obvious until last. Favourite holiday?
Destination.
Destination. Oh, God, it's horrible. Southampton.
Okay.
Yeah. I went to where I worked in America. Met loads of South African ladies, and my mum's auntie, she said, "Oh, they're all racist." And I actually had the best kind. They know how to party. The South Africans know how to do good brine. I used to drink Jameson's at the time because they got me eating. It's then the Jameson's whiskey. And I was invited in for Christmas to have Christmas with South Africa, and just beautiful people. Obviously, a lot of sadness, but a lot of love. Beautiful country, breathtaking, a lot of poverty, a lot of issues. But I remember sitting at the top of the table, mountain watching the sunset, and then we didn't know where the sun began or the sea. And it was just, when you put in your mind, you do that snap and take that image. And I remember sitting at a mountain and breathing air, and it was the most beautiful thing on earth.
Okay. Right then. You know what's going down there.
Food.
Food.
Wow, it's so many. And say pizza.
What?
Yeah, I make my own now. I've got my own pizza oven. And I teach pizza. I teach pizza or not because obviously I like it. But yeah, I love pizza. And you get a lot of chefs. When we used to go and work in London and what have you, cooking some of the best food and all these events, and people say, "Why have you eaten?" And we'd all be with a spoon's leg or all, because you can't face it. When you've been cooking all day, you can't face it with just one. I remember we used to go to Witherspoons because it was like curry and a pint on a Thursday or something, and they'd be cooking some of the most amazing food you could imagine, but no. So pizza's my favourite food.
Okay, pizza. I'm going to put an arrow on it. What's the best hotel cook to you in London?
But it's not hotels, I do events. So we used to do we'd do Queen's Phoenix, we did the Ryder Cup, I went to France and did the Ryder Cup, we did the Grand Prix, all stuff like that.
Silverstone?
Yes, I've done Silverstone. And we did all the VIP stuff. So when you used to go around and chat, and we'd be like, the floor would be shaking, we're trying to prepare, we're cooking for hundreds for the VIPs, and, the hospitality is amazing.
So you were in the paddocks?
Yeah.
Cooking?
No, you were cooking for the VIP people, so the people that pays, right by. Listen, we're on the chat.
Paddocks?
Yeah. But we don't get to see it, we're just cooking on the absolutely kitchen. But favourite, you know what? I cook for Mary Berry. Now, and she is just one of the nicest people as a chef.
She's lovely.
I was one event sitting. I was just sort of relief executive chef there for a time, and she was there. And I said, "Oh, what do you want for your lunch, Mary?" She goes, "Well, some soup." And I'd done a whole theme of desserts, and all her desserts. So I sort of copper brick in it, and she loved the soup, and she got me a cookery book and signed her for veal from love. And she liked the ground. She was just what you see.
Yeah, she's so cool.
She was just lovely. So probably that was one of my favourites. And I cooked the Australian cricket team. And they just looked like a load of students, to be fair. They were lovely. They loved satire. And it was just up, the hotel, or is it the apartments that looked like E.T.'s head at the top or something? Yeah. Gentleman who's the doctor for the cricket team, I think he owned one of the apartments or something. So he loved Liverpool. He came to Liverpool, fell in love with it, and bought an apartment, and he lives in Australia. And every time he comes, he just loves Liverpool so much. So yeah, and then I've cooked So one of my favourites was looking at the Bible Pup and Franks. That was Kesty. Long hours, very brutal. But the people with the chefs had meat. Yeah. Lifelong friends, because you've been in the absolute. It's horrendous. You're working 14 hours a day and at minutes straight through. But you build up this friendship, and it's for life. You know, the people I've met through the Olympics to now are still my friends today.
What is your most spine? What has been your most spine meal you've cooked?
Now, so I cooked a lot. I mean, I cooked a lot of food. Is it for a person or?
Yeah, no, not for yourself. For somebody else, like, or a group. Where?
Oh, I tell you what, there, Christmas Day, and someone said to me, "God, this is as good as a hotel. This is." And it's actually one of the volunteers, and he said, and he was going for a meal with his family later on, and I saw him like he was eating food. I said, I am a trained chef, like, you know, like, you're surprised, like, it's feasting.
Should be better than I do.
Anyway, you know, so we'd had some food with this beer, and he goes off and six him going for a meal later on that evening. I saw him after Christmas and the next day. I said, how's your meal, Jeff? He said, flipping terrible. He says, next year, Shad, I'm bringing my family to you. But Christmas Day is one of the most satisfying because I'm a feeder. I love to get people fed, and to see that, it's just the best feeling on earth, yeah. And it's not just cheat you, like, it's the best. I mean, Lord Derby from Nosey Hall, he gets his chefs cooking pheasants. So he had his chefs cooking pheasant for us for Christmas Day. So we'll go up there. He's Lord Derby, Nosey Hall, he's supported Christmas Day for the last 5 years. So, yeah. So they got
For dinner.
Two portions of pheasants from the Lord Derby kitchens at Nosey Hall.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that, for me, satisfying when I come out and I see people eating, and just can't tell you the happiness. You'll have to come and see it for yourself, because until you see it, you won't believe it. It just changes your life.
Yeah. Michelle Odwyer, thank you very much. Absolute pleasure, I'm right.
Thank you.
Love it, love it.